Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, September 15th, and these are your weekend high or lowlights, depending on how you look at them. It's essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we always like to start these off with a few fast facts. We answered 364 calls for service, and our traffic team made 72 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. Now here are those highlights in chronological order. On Friday, officers were sent to a burglary at East 50th Avenue and Forest Drive. A shed located in an oil field was found burglarized by a company hired to check on the building. They called us, and we confirmed machinery inside the building had been vandalized to the point of destruction, and wiring had been cut and some even stolen. The company believes the damage totals upwards of $100,000. The search for a suspect is ongoing, and this case has been assigned to a detective. That same day, shift of officers Friday conducted a routine traffic stop for expired registration on a vehicle in the 15,400 block of East 104th Avenue. They discovered that the driver had an active felony warrant for his arrest for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and should be considered armed and dangerous. Fortunately, he was taken into custody without incident on that warrant. Good work, patrol. Overnight Friday, officers responded to Pioneer Park when our gunfire detection technology alerted us to multiple shots fired. When officers arrived on scene, they continued to hear gunshots, and they set up a perimeter. They located one vehicle that was running and conducted what's called a high-risk traffic stop, removing two people, a male and female, from the vehicle without incident. Officers canvassed the area and found shell casings outside the passenger door of the vehicle, as well as a handgun on the sidewalk nearby. The firearm, when run through law enforcement databases, turned out to be stolen. Now the male we removed from the vehicle is facing a slew of charges to include recklessly discharging a firearm, third-degree criminal trespass, DUIs, he was under the influence of alcohol and driving, prohibited use of a weapon, and he also had a warrant for his arrest. On Saturday, officers worked a case involving a Stewart Middle School student who had posted concerning images holding a gun on social media. Our school resource officer team worked with school officials to determine the best course of action, and our patrol officers then made contact with the student, who was told he would not be allowed to return to school until a thorough threat assessment could be completed. We will be working with the district this week to ensure that occurs and determine what, if any, charges are appropriate. That same shift of officers Saturday were sent to a disturbance with weapons in the 6600 block of Highway 2 and learned the suspect had struck his girlfriend and was armed with a gun. This occurred in front of a 4-year-old child. Officers took the suspect into custody, and the victim disclosed he had pointed the gun at her head while assaulting her. A gun was in fact recovered at that scene. The suspect is facing domestic violence, felony menacing, second-degree assault, and child abuse charges for the crime that occurred. Overnight Saturday, officers made a traffic stop on a vehicle with a stolen rear plate. The driver of the vehicle was found to have 3 active warrants for his arrest, and a search of the vehicle uncovered methamphetamine. The suspect was taken into custody on the warrants and is facing new charges for drug possession, misuse of plates, driving after a license revocation as a habitual traffic offender, and having expired plates as well. Also overnight Saturday, officers stopped a vehicle that nearly ran a red light and came to a screeching halt in the crosswalk at East 5th Avenue and Quebec Parkway. The driver admitted to having no license, no registration, and no valid insurance. Officers also determined he was under the influence of alcohol. He was arrested for DUI and faces additional charges for the above-mentioned traffic offenses. On Sunday, officers responded to the Reunion Recreation Center in reference to a nude child who was running around attempting to get into the pool area. We immediately recognized this child because we had previously found him running nude on 2 other occasions and contacted his mother those times. He's a 5-year-old with autism, and in this instance, he was with a babysitter who discovered him missing but did not notify the police. This time, the babysitter was cited for child abuse, and CPS was notified due to this being a reoccurring problem. Overnight Sunday, officers responded to a disturbing report of a man soliciting a child for sex online. A mother had discovered messages on her 14-year-old daughter's phone with a man who wanted to meet up for the purpose of sex. She pretended to be her daughter and called the man, inviting him over. Then she called us. The 22-year-old suspect showed up at the house while we were there and was consequently arrested for internet luring of a child. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City. And remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.